Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. We are live. Stephen here, the Horror Freak 85, with Echo and our guest.
John Mack.
Hello. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
So, how was your week?
Hectic, but great. It's before the holidays, so I'm sure everybody's going through this. Like, it's the end of the year and it's the pre-holiday. Literally, I always find the week before Christmas and the holidays like the most hectic of the year
They
because you're
usually
trying to
are.
set everything up. Yeah, it's crazy, and everything's probably up in the air. But at the same time, I love the holidays. So it's also amazing because I love Christmas and the holidays and the whole time of the year is beautiful.
Can definitely tell the sweater you got on, Christmas sweater there. So.
I do. Yes. My T-Rex Christmas sweater.
Yes.
Okay, we need to talk to Asylum. We need a Santa T-Rex movie.
That's actually a great idea. I think that's a great idea. We do need that. Dinosaurs meets Christmas. Yeah, for sure.
Santa Rex.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That'd be interesting. I don't know how they would do that, but Santa turns into a dinosaur. I don't know. We'll brainstorm later. We always come up with ideas.
Yeah. It's Asylum. Asylum can do it. They've done this about everything else.
Well, they did Santa Jaws, so why not Santasaur?
Yep.
Why not? Absolutely. We need more dinosaur horror films. I feel like we've had some crocodile, alligator ones, but no real T-Rex dinosaur ones. Godzilla doesn't count.
Yeah, I can't think of any really recent ones that have come out.
I think ITN did the Dinosaur Hotel movies.
I actually haven't seen that. I don't know. I might check it out.
The worst ones. I watched this one. I can't remember the name. It's like Zombie T-Rex or whatever. This guy got into a boxing match with a T-Rex, a zombie T-Rex.
Oh my God.
And knocked the T-Rex out.
That's great.
And left me sitting there like, he knocked the zombie T-Rex out? Someone please explain that one to me. I don't get the science of that.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Wild Eye does have Ebola Rex. That was interesting.
Oh my gosh. I have to see that one. That sounds interesting for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, but anyway, just wondering, can you tell us a little bit where you grew up and what kind of movies inspired you? And if you did any acting throughout school, or when did you get into it?
Yes. I grew up near Detroit, Michigan, in Michigan, in a small town, on a farm. So, it's kind of an interesting thing because I was living near Detroit, but also on a very rural area. And I grew up in the theater. My mother was a stage director, a theater director, and a drama teacher. So my first foray into film and acting was through my mother and doing plays when I was 5 years old. And my father also, at that time, back in the day when they used to have really cool video stores, like Vidiots used to be in LA. They don't have those anymore, sadly. But my dad owned one of those really cool video stores where you could find all the like kind of gonzo videos, like kind of foreign films and gonzo videos and weird horror films. So I grew up watching films like that. Literally after school, I would go and take every film I could that looked bizarre and weird and just take it home and watch it. So I was a fan from the get-go, from the time I can remember, literally watching, horror films, probably too young, but that's, in a way, I think that's kind of cool because it kind of shaped what I became later on. So, so from the time I can remember, I've been a fan of horror and sci-fi and, of course, drama, but I've always loved the fantastic and the bizarre and the absurd. So from the time I can remember, pretty much, yeah.
Nice.
There's a place in Seattle that might have movies like that.
Oh.
Scarecrow Video.
Oh, I have to check that out. Okay, great. No, I think the sad thing to me is those video stores are mostly like, they've gone, and those are the way where you find the gems. Like, really.
Yeah.
It was like, you went in and you looked at the covers.
Yes. And you're like, what are you taking home tonight? For sure. Yeah.
If you remember like Sam Goody and Suncoast when they used to be around, like Suncoast, they used to order through this company called Ingram, and they could get like rare and harder videos and movies to find. That was like the best place to order before they shut down. It's like, I hate
Oh yeah, I know about Suncoast. There was a period of time, a few years before it closed down. If you were looking for me, it's like, where is he? Go to Suncoast.
Yeah, no,
That
that's
was the
I
best.
think that's like our first exposure to a lot of these films that are so, like now everything's streaming, but back in the day when you used to take something home, it was kind of cool. It was like a whole process, like discovering a new film like that. That's
Yeah.
something so that people is not mainstream and kind of like a hidden gem. So to me, I still have that side to me that I love that. I love discovering the hidden gem films.
Was there any of those hidden gems that really kind of stood out for you?
It's funny. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, there's a few. I always bring this up. The first horror film I saw when I was probably way too young to see it and process it, but it stuck with me. It stuck with me. And I just rewatched it recently, which is interesting. Was a British horror film, and I don't know if you guys know. You probably do. It's called Extra.
I've heard of it. The name rings a
It
bell.
does sound familiar.
It's a really, I mean, if you watch it now, it's so absurd. It was made in, I think, the 80s, like mid 80s or something, but I watched it when I was like a kid. And it just really stuck with me. The imagery was really bizarre and powerful and very out there. I mean, so that's when I think I that was the first movie for me, the first film for me where I was just like, okay, I'm like exploring this whole world of bizarre, films. And that's where I became a Cronenberg fan and all these, like, yeah, I delved into that world. That was the first film though that did it for me. And it's, maybe it doesn't stand up to this day, but I give them credit for what they were trying at that time, because I think a lot of films have taken influence from that for sure.
Since you mentioned Cronenberg, which is your favorite film of his?
Ooh, I mean, yeah, it's so funny. I just watched recently to the new one, the one that he did with what's her name, the French actress with about the body, where she's a performance artist. I forgot the name of it. It just came out, and I really love that one. But I also love Videodrome. I mean, Videodrome is the first one I saw of his.
Yeah.
So it's kind of similar to Videodrome, but Videodrome for me, I think, is because it's the first film of his I ever watched. It stuck with me. But I love The Fly too. I love The Fly too.
Doesn't he have a family movie? Doesn't he have a family member who's doing movies now?
Oh, his son.
His son.
Yeah, he did a great film called The Possessor. I don't know if you've seen The Possessor. I loved The Possessor. It was
which one was it? Him or his son that did Crimes of the Future? One of the two was it?
Yeah, it's him. I think that's actually Cronenberg. That's the one I was thinking of. Yeah, Crimes of the Future.
That's
Viggo Mortensen and
yes, Crimes of the Future. Yeah, that's
the French actress. I'm so sorry, I forgot her name off the top of my head, but she's amazing. She was in the James Bond film, and she's in the film with. And I just watched that recently. I thought was brilliant. Was brilliant film. Absolutely. Yeah. No, I've always had a soft spot for Cronenberg.
Yeah, his son's got some big shoes to fill.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. But if you haven't seen The Possessor yet, you have to see it. It's incredible.
I'm gonna have to check out his son's work and try not to judge him. Like, well, his dad would have done this, or his dad would have,
That's what I know. It's such a big, like he's such an enigmatic and such a formative filmmaker that a lot of people, I feel like, are influenced by him. So being the son of him has to be so difficult, like in general. But to me, like, he did a great job. And I try not to judge him against his father's work, because I know they're two different entities. But I love The Possessor. I thought it was incredible. It's very time travel, future oriented, but there's some body horror in there, but not as much as his father. Maybe it's more psychological. It's really good. It's really good.
It's like Mel and Max Brooks. Max is nothing like his dad.
Yeah, no, for sure, absolutely.
He's creative. He's creative like his dad, but he just doesn't go in that ha direction.
Right, absolutely. I remember reading Max's the zombie books before it was made into the film, and I thought he had a real gift for the writing of the zombie, because I was really into those books. They were incredibly written. Like to me,
yeah, I have World War Z, and I have his survival guide.
That's the one. Yes, I love that book. It's incredible. Yeah, it was great. I enjoyed it for sure. They probably will make it into a film at some point, I would think.
because the movie is nothing like World War Z when you read it. It's like the different stages and stuff.
Yeah.
I haven't read it, but they always change stuff whenever they do that. It's
They changed a lot.
Absolutely. No, the books stand up on their own though. They're really, really enjoyable reads for sure. Yeah, I thought he did a great job.
I think he wrote one about a Sasquatch. I'm not sure.
Oh, I have to
I want
check
to
that
say.
out. Okay. No, I like his writing style for sure.
Yeah. It stuck out to me, the Sasquatch one, because I'm in Washington State and we kind of have a big Bigfoot thing in this area. We're pro Bigfoot. We have one of the cities here has a law that says it's a federal crime to hunt a Bigfoot, a Sasquatch.
No way. That's interesting. No, that's interesting. I've been following all of that. I love all of the cryptid thing. Like I'm fascinated by all of that. So for me, Bigfoot is definitely real. I don't care what anybody says. I think there's too much proof at this point that.
Would you like to do a movie, be in a movie like about the Sasquatch and
I would
playing like a hunter or whatever of that?
Yeah, or to me, it's like not just hunting, but like communicating with them, because it's my understanding that people have communicated with them, and I've heard there's the famous video I think from the people that were camping. I want to say from the 70s or 80s, where they heard the calls. They were hearing the calls of the Sasquatch or something. When you hear the video evidence, it's incredible. It's fascinating because they make a certain call. So for me, like, I don't know about hunting them. I would like to communicate with them and find out, like, a way to live among them, because I think a lot of people have said that when you leave them gifts, that
yes,
reciprocate.
I live on a reservation, and my cousin took me up to the hills, and he's like, "Hey, we got to leave an offering." So he left a cigarette and some matches.
Nice.
It's like
nice.
we have to. He's telling me
smoking Sasquatch. That'd be kind of funny to see.
That would be pretty great.
I can imagine that.
He had to explain to me that that's the thing to do when you're up there, is to leave something behind, like an offering or whatever. It's like that's what you're supposed to do.
Absolutely.
Leave him a 6-pack too,
Yeah. Why not?
No, knowing me and my cousin at that time, it'd be an empty 6-pack.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's brilliant.
Well, here's a question, because you've done some Asylum movies.
Yes.
Are you aware that the Lavalanche movies are in the same universe as Z Nation and Sharknado?
I was not aware of that. Really?
In the first Lavalanche, Lavalanche in the movie, Finn appears.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then Steve Guttenberg appears later in one of the other, in Sharknado movies. He delivers Christine. Of all the cars to deliver to him to save the day, it's Christine.
Right.
Or they don't say the name. They're like, the car's driving itself. It's like, oh, don't worry, And Z Nation, I guess some of the characters are in it, and there's a line in one of the episodes. It's a zombie NATO. Oh, this is not a Sharknado.
That's
what is it like working for Asylum?
Well, I think I just did that that one film for them. They've been great. I mean, no complaints. I mean, it's just to me, it's doing these films is like kind of like boot camp for actors. You have to, be prepared, be ready, and everything's really quick. And we're all in it to win it, kind of thing. So we form great relationships with everybody we work with, because it's one solid unit, pretty much. And in this world of indie filmmaking, as we say, or it's just to me, it's we are all one unit. So I enjoy it. It's quick, short, but you come prepared. So I like it very much.
You've done some different ones, horror, sci-fi, whatever. Do you have a favorite subgenre, and do you have a favorite character that you've played so far?
Here's my dog visiting.
Animals are welcome.
We love animals.
Yep.
I love sci-fi. I love horror. To me, like, horror has so many different subgenres. I mean, psychological horror is probably one of my favorites. Like, personally, I like things that just make me think over and over again afterwards. And like, I kind of like body horror. I know it's crazy, but that's why I said Cronenberg earlier. I have a soft spot for body horror.
Society.
Yeah. No, it really is. Everything is, to me, horror goes much deeper than people take it for. That's why I think I love horror so much, because it says so much about society, about politics, about everything, like just our world, our
We're into movie society, but you are correct though.
yeah, no, everything is, it says so much, and that's why I love about it. I love sci-fi horror for sure, absolutely. I'm trying to think of what other stuff. I mean, pretty much I even love slasher horror when it's well done. I love a good slasher movie. Absolutely. That's why I love the Terrifier series and all that, because it brought so much fun back to it. You know what I mean? Just, we missed that fun for so long. And that's why I was like so excited.
Are you looking forward to the third Terrifier movie, which I think is going to be more batshit crazy than that second one? Because the second one was, more than the first one.
Yeah. Each one is going to top the next one on that.
Absolutely. So. Absolutely. I think he's in a position now where he has to, you know what I mean? He, like the character is like, Art is so, oh my God, Art can do anything. I mean, that's the thing. Like, how far are we going to go with it? I like how he's exploring that, because Art to me is he's kind of like Pennywise in a way, like where he's not just a physical thing. He's spiritual, interdimensional kind of creature, and he can appear anywhere. So yeah, I think he's gonna go nuts with it. I love the trailer. I saw the trailer, and I know the trailer upset a lot of people, but yeah. I think that's like the next thing he's got to do. Like, he's got to take it that place for sure.
So, yeah. And of course, we got some other slashers coming out this next year. We got Maxine, and there was another one in there that I completely skipped my mind. We got Maxine, Terrifier 3. There was another one, wasn't there? Slasher that's coming out next year. Oh God, my brain just went dead there.
I'm not. I can't think of.
Because I know we got Maxine coming out.
Yeah,
Maxine will be good. Yeah, for sure.
There was something that there was going to come out like the same time as Terrifier. Is like, really, you're going to put that up against Terrifier?
Oh man, yeah.
I hate when they do that, but I'm sure Terrifier will kill it.
Give me a minute.
And then
I leave my phone off so people can message me if they get a hold of me and they start message me.
When is Terrifier 3 supposed to come out? Is it
October 25th?
Okay, right before Halloween, of course.
Which is a good date to pick.
Yes.
To do a slasher movie because that was when Halloween came out.
Absolutely.
And the joke is, I was born on October 2nd, 1978, and 23 days later.
Nice.
And me and another guy were going, yeah, it's going to be great when Halloween turns 50. And then we stopped and we go, oh.
Wait a minute.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, 50 years? Oh, son of a...
I love it.
We're around Christmas time.
Yes.
2 questions. Favorite Christmas song and favorite Christmas movie?
Ooh, Christmas. Oh yeah, Christmas movie. That's I know everybody says the typical ones. I just saw a really beautiful film with Paul Giamatti. I want to say it's called The Holdovers, and it kind of became my new Christmas favorite movie for this year because I'm such a huge Paul Giamatti fan. But Christmas movie, I mean, Nightmare Before Christmas. Those are my classics. I still love the Rudolph. I still watch Rudolph every year.
Same here. I owe it a viewing, my yearly viewing. I haven't done it yet.
And Little Drummer Boy. I mean, all of these are like kind of sentimental favorites. So for me, those are really like favorite Christmas. Everybody says, Christmas Vacation. Of course, we love Christmas Vacation. Christmas with the Cranks. But for me, the stop motion, like those, I want to say 60s, whatever they made, the 60s or 70s, there's something magical about those films. And I have to watch them every year, no matter what. So I would say those kind of like would have to be my favorites, no matter what. Yeah. And favorite Christmas song, I want to say, I like the Waitress song. I forgot what it was called. The 80s rock song. It's kind of like a new wave version of a Christmas song. I like that. Ooh. Everybody likes Last Christmas by Wham. I forgot what the name of the song, but I'm sure the viewers know it's the song by the Waitresses. And I love that Christmas song. It's just very modern and cute. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the Wham, Last Christmas. I mean, all the traditional ones, Silent Night, everything. I just love Christmas in general. For me, like it's but I kind of expand my horror into Christmas from Halloween. I'm one of those. I still watch horror films in December.
Yeah, I gotta say this. Nobody has ever talked about. I've never heard anyone say the name Wham until now. Like no one talks about Wham. Now, I was like, whoa.
Who talks about Wham? No, it's true. It's true. But I think that's one of everybody's favorite Christmas songs. It's one of the more modern ones. Everybody likes the traditional ones; those are fine. But I kind of like the more modern ones. I would like to see some artists do some more modern renditions of Christmas songs. I think that's kind of missing right now. We need some more updated ones.
For sure. Let's see. What was I going to mention? And Saw. It was a brief part I saw. I had to rewatch it. I was like, what was it? You were right in there saying that you were sick. That was you, right? As Betsy Russell was walking by and going to pick up a package there. Did you get a chance to meet Tobin at all, or Betsy?
Yeah, absolutely. Betsy and I are friends. Yeah. I met Tobin, worked with Betsy. Costas and I just did a film last October together where we played husband and wife. So I'm still good friends with Costas, and he's amazing. And I'm curious to see. I love the new Saw, by the way. The new one that just came. I thought it was incredible, and I thought they revamped the whole franchise so well. And it was the same director, Kevin Gruder, who directed the one I was in, Saw 6. And I thought Kevin did a brilliant job. Like, I just thought the new one was incredible, for sure.
Yeah. And it's perfect how it went right after Saw 2 in between and all that. And
yes.
They're already they already announced they're going to do an 11 next year.
Of course.
11. Wow.
As they should. They basically revamped the whole franchise in my eyes. Like this last one, it brought it to, like, obviously, like the younger people and, that haven't seen it yet are catching up. But I think this new one like brought it to them in such a way where you introduce the characters in a perfect way. It was a flashback. It was like prequel, but it was so well done where you can jump into the series at any point and kind of get what's going on. And I just thought it was brilliantly done. I thought Kevin did a great job.
And it was great to see more of Tobin in it and Amanda and all them, and to see how what's Castell's character? Hoffman, right? Yeah, Hoffman.
Yes. Yeah.
Seeing how he came in, and I love his of all the men to cross, you cross John Kramer. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. It was set up perfectly.
Absolutely.
Wonderful franchise.
Yeah.
I only got into that franchise a little bit, but I'm blown away. It's 11. That's getting into like Friday the 13th or Halloween or Nightmare on Elm Street territory. It's just going. Whoa.
Oh, yeah. But the stories are great, and it's how they're all intertwined, and it's so clever, and the traps are clever. I mean, it's just well put together. I mean, it's like, wow, that's going on when that goes on, and it's just like all.
Yeah. The writing is fantastic. Absolutely. No, I was so impressed. It was like chef's kiss. Like, it's hard to bring back a franchise after a few years of dormancy and everything, but I thought it was so perfectly done, and bringing Tobin's character back, because I do love the John Kramer character. I know, I think most people do. He's just such a fascinating, and obviously dark and everything, but he's just so fascinating. The whole character of John Kramer, like, we can't let that go. It's just want to explore that character more and more. So I thought it was brilliant.
Get into deeper depth of John Kramer and more from the starting of it, and and how he got Amanda and all that's how it's all intertwined.
And I think the scene that got everybody was, I won't mention it for those who haven't seen the film, but there's the visceral scene with the first, the first girl who had to remove something. It was so beautifully done. It was so visceral. I mean, that just for anybody who hasn't seen a Saw film before, there's your introduction right there. Yeah.
So, and it's great because you can watch the first Saw and then Saw 10, even though it's like, I might go back and watch them all in that order.
There was another series that did something like that. The one about the death, about them, how they cheated death, and death was hunting them. Because there was a plane crash in one of them, and then you get to the
Final Destination.
You're talking about Final Destination.
Yeah. And then one of the ones later on, you found out the plane crash. The people in the movie were going to be on the plane, so that it takes you right to the plane crash from one of the other movies. It's like, ooh.
It connects from the first to the fifth one, and they're doing a sixth one. Yes, or seven? Is it sixth or seventh?
Because of those movies, every time I get
the log.
anytime I drive behind somebody with a load in the back of their truck, I'm always like, it's a Final Destination moment.
I think at Pooler was like, I've seen this movie.
It's made all of us go, okay, wait a minute here. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
It's like what's messed up about them too, because of all the way they die. I mean, it's real life situations, plane crash, car crash.
Anything can happen. Absolutely. I mean, that we have the fantasy things, which I think a lot of us horror fans love that. But there's also those films like that where you're like, oh my God, this could really happen. So it makes you think a different way. So I love both of them. I love horror in general, because to me, horror explores our deepest fears and our deepest desires in life.
Yeah.
And kind of puts it in a way that we can cope with things better. I don't know. For me, I feel like it puts everything into place better. You know, it makes me ask questions I wouldn't ask before.
Yeah. We were talking a little bit earlier before the show about you had asked if I've done any conventions or anything. How about you? Do you have any conventions planned out in the upcoming year?
I have some I have some coming up in the year. We haven't decided exactly which ones, but I have a sci-fi film coming out called Andromeda Wars, which we're going to be doing the cons for that as well. And I have a remake of Night of the Living Dead, which we've done, and I'm very excited about that. So, yeah.
Okay, got my attention there, because I'm decided to sit down. I decided to sit down and try to rank the movies and how I like them. So that when you talk about Night of the Living Dead, that is the way.
Oh yeah, for sure. So I always like to ask people, like, what is it in a zombie film that you most like to see, and what is it? You know what I mean? Because we've done so many zombie films at this point that I'm curious what people like to see that hasn't been done yet.
I think they've done it. Almost everything's just about been done in them when you think about it.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much.
Unless you do some more intelligent zombies, but I mean, other than that, it could be like in Gremlins, the smart talking Gremlins. We got a smart zombie, yes. Now you just have a zombie talk.
Exactly.
But other than that, the formula, drinks the formula, and all of a sudden he's like, "Well, hello, we want more than brains."
No. The thing that's really cool about the zombie film that we have done is it's basically a remake but a modern take on everything, and we have an amazing lead actress, Vivica Fox, who is great. I mean, she kicks ass, and it's a retake. It's giving homage to George Romero's original, but also bringing it into the modern world. So I'm very excited about it.
That movie has been remade and different versions of it so many times.
Yeah. Since
1990, when the best remake, by the way, ever of the whole movie, all the time, the original Savini one.
Yes. For sure.
Does that put pressure on you, though, to do something like that? It's got such a legacy to try to, and in fans' eyes to live up to it.
Yes. No. For me, not only being a very picky horror fan, which I am, it's also I want to do service to the legacy and to George Romero's, what he created, like his name, his idea, and everything. So I think, it's a lot of pressure. But at the same time, I feel like we've done everything where we were honoring what his original intent was with the film, and capturing enough of the nostalgia, but also bringing it to the modern day. So it's like bridging the two, because I think a lot of the younger generation now is not familiar with the film. The film is over 50 years old now, so it's a lot of people haven't seen it. Like people
it's like Diary of the Dead. Have you seen Diary of the Dead? The
yes.
whole idea of everything, has recorded. One of his movies just had an anniversary this year.
Yeah.
Crazies turned 50. And that movie, by the way, awesome.
Yes.
I still can't choose what's better, the remake or the original. I think they kind of, one of them covers up for the weakness of the other. Yeah. Also has one of my favorite kills where they shoot that girl in the original. She's just like, oh. And it collapses.
Yeah. Yeah. The Crazies.
Who's in the remake? That girl's in the remake. She rides the bike around town.
Oh, very cool. Yeah. No, I love the remake too. The remake is great. I thought the remake was so well done. Because a lot of people hadn't seen the original. So to me, it's sometimes remaking films like that every so many, every couple decades, it gives it to the younger generation to get introduced to the whole, the trope and everything. So I think it's really cool if you can pay enough homage to the original, which I'm always a fan of doing, and bringing it to people who haven't seen it. Because unfortunately, a lot of people, they just don't go back and look at films that are 50 years old. It's a shame, like I was a film student. I watched films that were very old, but I think a lot of people don't do that. So I want to try to bring it with the same intention and the same energy that the original had to the modern age. And so, in order to do that, you have to, give service to what the original intended. Yeah.
Is there a movie that you think should be remade? And is there any remakes that you think could have done without?
Oh, so many remakes I probably could have done without.
Yeah, there are a lot that should have. It's true.
I brought up The Fly earlier because I love Cronenberg, and I know it was an original film, but I just thought, and The Thing too. Like I thought, like for me, the Carpenter version is one of my favorite all-time films, and the newer version, it wasn't bad, but it didn't have the same thing. So it's so
the newer one, a prequel or something.
Yeah, it's a prequel because it follows the Swedish.
Yes.
Then it ends in such a way where you can go right into the remake.
Yeah. So for me, that's such a tricky thing because some of these films to me, like, I don't know how you can make them more perfect. Like to me, The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing is like perfect. It's a perfect film. I don't know how I could make it better, including the soundtrack. Like his soundtracks to me make it over the top. Like he's such a brilliant scorer. Like he's so good at scoring his own films. Like it blows me away. So gosh, I'm trying to think of an original film that has, because Nightmare on Elm Street has been remade, but I still love the original. No offense to the new one, but I still the original still creepy to me. Like the original 1984 is still really creepy. So remakes are tricky. That's what I kind of tackled with this. It's like, how do you make it scary again or fresh again? Because everyone knows what's going to happen. And that's a tricky
part. And then have to deal with the people who are going to be nitpicking because it's a remake, so they're going to sit there.
They're always gonna, no matter what you do, there's always gonna.
No matter what. No.
Look at what is it? Last Train to New York, which is going to be a remake of Train to Busan.
Yes.
Oh, there's already people who got the pitchforks and the torches already, and it's like, dude, we haven't even seen a trailer or a teaser yet. Come on.
And the original film is so beautiful. I just watched it recently. I mean, it's just it's horror, but mixed with emotion and drama and the whole story, the arc. That's what I think is great horror. And that's why I love Korean horror so much.
Oh, yeah.
I have a big soft spot for Asian horror.
Have you seen the sequel?
No.
Well, okay, Peninsula should not have been called Train to Busan Presents Peninsula.
Okay.
It's a good movie, but it does not live up to Train to Busan.
Oh, yeah.
But there is a Fast and Furious scene in it that's awesome, but it just doesn't live up to it. So that also got a little bit of the, it's the sequel thing. They do a sequel.
Yes.
Some people are like, and this is one of those ones.
Director or the same crew or different creative team?
I'm not sure. It's more action. It's more action packed, and with cars and stuff.
Right.
Putting that Train to Busan, which I've heard we're going to be getting a sequel to that and another Train to Busan movie. So we're getting more of a universe.
Interesting. Yeah,
no, I got a TV show. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. Who knows? Maybe.
Exactly. But that's the tricky part when you try to revisit something that was already such a beloved franchise or something. It's just like it's such a like a big shoe to fill. I mean, literally, it's like being, like we were talking earlier about being the son of David Cronenberg. It's the same thing. It's like you're trying to do it, pay an homage and trying to do it justice, but it's just, there's always going to be fans that are going to find fault, of course, because it's not the original. Yeah. But the good thing about bringing it to modern times is you're bringing it to an audience that has not seen it and probably won't go back and revisit a film that's, that old, unfortunately.
But if the gap's too big, like with Matrix.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I watched that last Matrix movie and it was a chore. It was torture.
No, it was unfortunately no. And it's the same directors, so that's the moment was a moment in history that's really hard to recapture. That's the thing. Yeah.
I think didn't Tron have the same deal, which I love Tron,
Yeah.
but Legacy was. Ugh.
Yes.
Bill and Ted Face the Music was a better than the newer Matrix.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly. So it's almost like a film is like a zeitgeist in that time in the world, that moment in time, with everything going on in that current cycle. That is why it's kind of like Evil Dead. Even though I love the new Evil Dead, I thought it was brilliantly done. I thought it was really well done. That's a tough one, because obviously the original had such a different feel because of the situation of how he was filming everything, and it was Sam Raimi was so young, and it was almost like a college student movie, but it turned out so well because of that, because he didn't have the huge budget, he didn't have the Sony budget to make it all fancy. It kind of worked in a way because he didn't have that huge budget.
I think also is when you look at with that series,
Mhm.
the first movie and the remake were horror, whereas you get the second one, and especially Army of Darkness and the TV show, were
Yes.
more comedy.
Absolutely. Yes.
Which, by the way, the first that remake from 2016, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I walked in thinking I was going to hate it. I walked out thinking that's my favorite Evil Dead movie.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
See, that's when you do it justice, and that's tough. I mean, I think it's tough for any filmmaker that's trying to fill the shoes of something that is a franchise and a beloved franchise, and it was kind of an accidental franchise, kind of like I feel like everything that's become a franchise, even in Nightmare on Elm Street or Evil Dead, anything like that, even Friday the 13th or Halloween, the filmmakers at the time did not expect it to become what it became. It was just such a statement on society at that time that it became something that people just gravitated to. So it's hard to predict that. So when you're trying to revisit it's not going to have the same societal influence that maybe it did at that time because it was so fresh and new. Mm-hmm. So that's the tough part about it.
And with Romero movies, and if you really watch them, the messages in them, social commentary.
Yes.
In these movies, and
yeah,
I mean whether it's Crazies, Night Riders, which Martin, even all these messages.
Yeah.
Who knew? There's probably a lot of them flew over my head until somebody broke them down. It's like, wait a minute. Oh, they're right.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah, no, even Dawn of the Dead, watching it now, the take on consumerism. And I love the remake of Dawn of the Dead, that was 2004 version. I thought Zack Snyder's version was awesome. But at the time when the original was made, it was the first time somebody was making a statement about consumerism and how people, how people turning into zombies for that, the whole putting it into a mall and things like that. It was impactful because it was the first time somebody made that social commentary. So now it's kind of like, yeah, we have to do the mall scene, we have to do these scenes, but how do you make it socially impactful for this day and age? That's the tricky part, I think.
Mm-hmm. I was going to ask, now that the SAG strike is over and everything after and all that, were you working? I know some people had waivers, or were you working at that time on anything, or not? Not at all.
I actually, during that time, we it's funny, we just wrapped Night of the Living Dead right before the SAG strike happened. Mm-hmm. So we literally, I think 2 weeks or something before that. So that whole time I was in post-production. I was supposed to shoot another film, which I'm going to do at the beginning of the year now, another horror film, horror psychological thriller. But we were supposed to shoot in October, but because of the strike, a lot of the actors just said, let's wait and let's get the strike over with. So now we're going to do it at the beginning of the year. So it definitely affected a lot of us working. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Was that frustrating to have that, that not be able to really work because of all the strike and stuff and everything going on? Was that frustrating?
Absolutely. I think for everybody. I mean, just not just for actors. I want to say for the crew members too, because it affected so many more. People think the actors only, but it affected so many crew members. Everybody that relies on being on set for their livelihood. So it's frustrating to me because as a producer, I want to put people to work. I want to keep it going forward. And but at the same time, I saw the importance of the strike, and we have to draw a line in the sand with the thing with, that this is going to be a very big point in the future from now on, is the AI thing, with using people's likeness and whatnot. We are getting better and better exponentially with AI. So we have to kind of like put our boundaries down, which I completely understand. I mean, nobody wants their likeness to be used without their consent or compensation or whatnot. So to me, that was super important. I hope we're starting on good grounds for the new year. I know a lot of people, myself included, are ready to get back to work. But yeah, we have to take these moments to give everybody what they deserve, and what it's like, we all work hard. We should be compensated for that. And I know the studios, they have their thing, they do their thing, and I respect that, but it has to be an agreement. So I think it's of course it's frustrating, because a lot of us were supposed to be shooting things the rest of the year that did not happen. But hopefully in this new year, we're going to see some good changes and at least some protection for people's, likeness and their livelihood, all of us.
And also, I know, besides, even if stuff was already filmed and stuff, couldn't like promote anything. I mean, that must have been horrible, not being able to promote anything at that time, or go on entertainment news or anything like that. So I mean, it was
yeah. No, I feel for so many people that had premieres that came out last summer and they couldn't do the red carpet. They couldn't do, because I know for every film and every project, like the promotion thing is so important. We have to get out there and promote it, because a lot of times people that would normally support it or be fans, they don't know it exists, so they can't watch it if they don't know it exists. So you have to go out and promote it. So I think it was a big frustrating thing for a lot of us, but we stood in solidarity. We waited and patiently, and just trying to make sure everything's okay. And I want to see this new year, I want to see us get back to our roots. I'm a big fan of indie filmmaking. I would love to see more love given to the indie film world, which I think all of us kind of exist in mainly. Yeah. So I'm a big fan of the indie film world, and I would love to see more support for that, because it's the studios who do what they do, and much respect to that. But indie films, to me, that's what I grew up on. That's what I do mostly, and that's what I love. And to me, that's the bread and butter. So we just need to get back to work and be able to do what we can, and get our projects promoted out there and get people to know what's going on. So that's the key.
I think it's more fun to watch like the indie stuff. I mean, last year, the one movie they couldn't get me to shut up about last year was an indie film, Death to Metal. This year, apparently, it's been so far Clay Zombies.
Yeah.
And I'm sure can't wait to see what happens next year, what film I'm going to go on about. It's more fun to watch than some of these.
Did you watch the Christmas special yet, or?
Yes.
Okay.
But it's like more fun to watch them than, no disrespect to some big movies, but they're more fun to watch than those movies.
Yeah, for sure. No, I've always championed the indie world, because I feel like everything good that we see in mainstream usually started in the indie world. It's like they don't get enough credit, but a lot of the the big directors, the big actors, whatever you call it, the big anybody who works there starts indie usually. And to me, the indie world's where you cut your teeth and where you can experiment, and there's not so much pressure. You can take risks, you can do things, you can make statements you can't usually. It's just, to me, it's a beautiful terrain. As a filmmaker, you can do more. You can say more. Yeah.
Yeah. Look at Sam Raimi. He went from
absolutely
Evil Dead to Spider-Man.
He's a winning example. Absolutely. No, he's absolutely the perfect example. Like what he did with Evil Dead with no money. I mean, look at the creativity that went into that film. It blows you away. Like, he was a college kid when he made that. That blows me away. Like, his ingenuity and everything. And it just, I mean, that's where you see the real talent of somebody. When you have no money and you can make something look interesting, at least, or amazing. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it engages the viewers, and you tell enough of a story. That, to me, is just like, that's talent. You can throw enough money behind it, that's fine. But if you have no budget like he did, and you can make it amazing, and that film still holds up to this day. All of those films hold up to this day. That's talent. To me, that's, absolutely.
Do you have any future plans, maybe to do your own movie, either write it or direct it or anything?
Yes, actually, I directed a film now it's going to be January, almost a year ago, that I'm putting out in the festivals. It's a short film, like a fantasy drama, like very whimsical film. And yes, I want to keep directing. I love directing. I love producing. I plan to do more. I have some scripts I'm developing, and I have some projects I'm developing as well. So horror and fantasy. That's kind of my realm. So yeah, for sure.
Nice. All right. Is there anyone that you haven't worked with yet that you would like to?
Oh my gosh. So many, so many. Yeah, no, absolutely. We just brought up Sam Raimi. I mean, he's, to me, we're both Detroit people. So like, it's like, come on, I would love to work with him. He's from where I grew up, and I think he's brilliant. So Sam Raimi is absolutely at the top of my list. David Cronenberg, there's so many directors I adore and would love to work with. Yeah, for sure. Actors, I mean, yeah, the list goes on and on. It goes on, and there's so many brilliant actors out there. But to me, it's just like I like risk taking. So anybody who's willing to take a risk, I'm game. So I like to work with people who like color outside of the lines, kind of thing, like take a risk like that. That to me is exciting. But there's so many brilliant people in our industry that I still haven't worked with that I want to work with for sure.
Absolutely. Like, look at Nicolas Cage. One of my favorite movies of him was that Willy's Wonderland.
That was excellent.
Which when I first heard about it, he doesn't speak.
Not one.
And I had to watch it. I literally had to buy a copy just to be like, I got to see this.
Nick is. I'm so grateful I got to work with him. That's one I got to cross off my list. I'm just like, he's incredible, and I'm actually developing a project with him in mind for a very cool role. I think he would like. But Nick is great. I mean, he's such a professional, such an awesome person, so down to earth and fun to work with. And I mean, I'm surprised he's not directing films already, because he came on set knowing everything. Like, he read the script, he knew everything. He's such a professional that I would love to work with him again. It was truly an honor and amazing. Yeah.
That is one for the bucket list right there. I wouldn't mind being in a movie.
Yes.
Nice.
Do you have a favorite
one of
movie?
the favorite people you work with?
Do you have a favorite movie of his that you like?
Oh my gosh. Well, it's I love Raising Arizona. I still love Raising Arizona. It's still like a classic. I mean, I love so many of his films. Leaving Las Vegas, of course, he won the Oscar for that. He was brilliant in that. But I love Raising Arizona. Raising Arizona was brilliant. I thought I like that uncaged Cage version of him.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I think everything he does is amazing. I even told him I love Mandy, because I love Mandy. I thought Mandy was great. And
yes.
It's such a beautiful film. It just, the emotions of it, I thought it was so incredible. I thought all the actors were great. And I love Andrea Riseborough. I think she's incredible. She's in The Possessor, the one I told you guys you have to check out. Yeah. She's brilliant. And I mean, everything he does usually, it's like coming from such an intense, real place. That's why I always like watching what he's going to do, because you never know what he's going to do. Like, from Peggy Sue Got Married from the 80s, from Raising Arizona, Valley Girl, his early stuff, to now, like everything he's doing now.
A lot of his films over the last few years. You got Wally's one, the one about the pig. What was the one about the pig?
Oh, it's called Pig.
It's called Pig.
Yeah.
It's just called Pig.
Yeah, it's called Pig. No, he's great. He's great in that. And Shape of Color. What was the one that came out? It was the sci-fi.
The Color of Space.
Color of Space. That's it. Beautiful as well. Like same thing. I like that he takes risks, and I always appreciate that about him.
I still gotta watch Renfield, because I want to see his take on Dracula.
Yes, Renfield's good.
Renfield's great. You would like that. Absolutely. Nicholas Hoult, also great. I would love to work with Nicholas Hoult. I think he's brilliant. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that was a fun movie. I love how he used the arm as a weapon. I'll leave it at that. You know what I'm talking about.
Because already there's that joke where they have about finding these old pictures from like 100 or whatever years ago that look like famous people, and they found one of him. They're like, is he immortal? Is he really a vampire?
Well, they got that with some celebrities. How they're it's kind of scary how much they look alike. Like, okay, they got to be relatives or something.
Yes. No, they found that. They found that with many people. Yeah, him, Keanu. I think there's been a couple for sure.
They bathe in the blood of innocence.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah. Oh no, they're watching. We're okay. Well, if we end up missing, I know why. It's a conspiracy.
But could you do like a role like that he did with Wally Wonderland, where you just no talking, you just have to rely on like physicalness? Would that be like it'd be hard?
I think actually it'd be more fun in a way, because sometimes to me the dialogue, it's like I get it as part of it, but any actor who wants to explore that, I think it's really interesting to not have to worry about the dialogue and to tell the story through your physicality and your emotions.
There's one coming out. I don't know if it's out already. It's about a guy whose kid gets killed and he gets shot in the throat and he loses the ability to speak.
It's Joel Kinnaman. It's the Joel Kinnaman film. Is it called Silent Night or something? Silent. It's something. I just saw it the other day. I just saw it.
When I saw the trailer of him, like, and he's in the mirror, looking in the mirror, and he's looking at him. Like,
yes.
oh.
Yes, I just saw the whole film. It's John Woo. John Woo directed it. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's the super action. I mean, John Woo is one of the masters of action. Like, he's literally done Face Off. I mean, Face Off is a classic. So
yeah, I was actually thinking that Face Off, one of my favorites.
Face Off is incredible. Like, even this day when you watch Face Off, it's fun to watch. I mean, my God, him and Travolta, like, they had to have.
I love when he's like in the choir, he's like singing with them, going around.
Yes. Both of them, it was just like they're both like such big actors. It worked so well with the action. It was brilliant. So John Woo to me is like, one of the so it's really, I mean, it's a very heavy. I just watched a very heavy film. The action's good. I love Joel Kinnaman. I think he's amazing. I've liked him for a long time. I think he's great. But yeah, that's and again, it's a Christmas kind of, not really horror, but more of a tragic tale, but based around Christmas. So it's very good film.
Is there a type of character you would like to play that haven't portrayed yet?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I would love to play anything multi-generational, like a lifespan, and to me, like, it's like playing, intense, dark, that's okay. Playing light is okay. Well, but I like to see a lifespan of somebody who's gone through a lot. And so I would like to play from young to old. I think that would be really interesting.
Okay. And we did briefly got off track, but you were talking about some conventions. Which ones, do you know which ones yet you're going to be at? We were talking about like Night of the Living Dead, but you didn't tell us the locations.
No, I think we're looking. Well, I think Steven, our friend Steven, is working on getting us into the Texas one, the big one in Texas.
Okay.
What's Frightmare?
Texas Frightmare, yeah.
Frightmare. Okay, that's the one. We're working on that. We're working on the obviously all the ones in LA, the monster, the monster one, the like HorrorCon, Comic-Con, of course. But right now, I think we're just waiting to finish the films, because we're going to finish the films, get them all ready to go, and then we're ready to promote. So I'm just open. I would love to go and meet the fans. To me, that's like the best thing. I love to shake hands with people and hear what people enjoy, because I'm a fan too. So I get it. Like I geek out on this stuff. I love it. I love hearing what people enjoy. For me, that's like the most rewarding thing. So anywhere we can go, I think we're going to do it. According to what I've been told, we're going to be going over to the Philippines and other areas in Asia as well, to promote the sci-fi film coming out, Andromeda Wars, which is really cool. I don't know if you saw the film, original film with, I want to say Dolph Lundgren and Matthias Hughes, Dark Angel. Do you remember that? Matthias is in our film, and Matthias is the lead. So I think that will be really fun to go and promote it with him and the fans that like that old school, like 1990s action, back in the day, Dolph Lundgren and Jean-Claude Van Damme, all that stuff. they're bringing that back now. So we're going to go over to Asia and promote that. So that'll be really interesting.
So, are you surprised the fan base in other countries like Asia and all that? Is that like mind blowing? Like hard to believe that it's all over worldwide.
No, actually, I get it. I think it's actually really, really, really cool because in some ways there's other parts of the world that you wouldn't expect people to be such fans that they are. Oh, there we go, Brian Benben. Nice. No, there's other parts of the world that appreciate different aspects of filmmaking in different ways than America does. And not to say there's not American fans, but sometimes when you go to Asia, there's huge fan base that you didn't even know existed, or South America or things like that. So I think it's awesome. I mean, because it basically goes across language barriers. Like to me, like horror, action, and sci-fi go across language barriers. So I love the fact that there's fans all over the world. I think it's awesome. It unites everyone. It's great. We can all agree this is a kick-ass film.
But isn't the Philippines? They used to shoot a whole bunch of horror movies and sci-fi movies back in the 70s and 80s. Used to be shot there, wasn't that? It was one of those countries. It was different directors would go down there and shoot stuff from all different countries.
That makes
Italy,
sense.
America. They used to, because they were like, we need a jungle type area.
Yes.
Go down there.
Yeah, like where was Predator filmed? I want to say it was filmed in the Philippines or something like that.
We'll be surprised. It probably was.
Because it looks like it down there.
Yeah.
Would you be into like doing something like that, filming a movie down there, like, for the jungles and stuff?
Absolutely. I'm a travel junkie. So for part of the best part of what I do is the ability to travel and go somewhere I never have. I mean, when I did the films, the last film with Nick Cage was, we did it in Bogota, and that was incredible. I didn't get to go to Colombia before, and I loved spending time in Colombia. And it's a place I never would have gone to normally, but I'm glad I got to go because I got to see how beautiful it was and how amazing the people were. So I love it.
Is there any place you haven't been to yet that you would really love to go to?
Yes, Australia and Ireland.
That's actually two places I'd like to go to.
They're both on my list, and Scotland probably too. Yeah, no, I would love to go to all of those places for sure because they look amazing, and I'm sure I'd have a great time there. And I have friends there already, so I've been promising them for years that I will make it there. So I'm waiting for the right opportunity to shoot there. But yeah, those are three places on the top of my list for sure.
Whether you filmed at a certain location or not, do you have a favorite place that you've traveled in general, just on vacation?
Yeah, I mean, I love Europe in general. I'm going to say I love Europe. I love Italy. I love France. Whenever I go back to France, I have friends there, and I always have a great time there. The food is great. Same with Italy. So I do love Europe. And I love South America so much. I mean, I've been there a few times now for different films, and I just love South America. Something about it is just really, I don't know, it feels like home to me in a strange way. So yeah, whether that's, Brazil, Peru, or Colombia, I love South America so much.
Nice. Sounds fun. A lot of places I haven't been yet. I would love to do some traveling, but haven't yet. So who knows? Maybe in the future there. And so
yes.
Any certain movies? I know some you can improv and some, are by the script. Is there any funny or interesting improv moments that you can recall?
I think in every film we've done moments of improv, which to me are like the best things about a film sometimes, because a lot of times the actors, like we're doing the lines and everything in the script, but we have moments. And in fact, in Night of Living Dead, there's some really funny moments with Vivica. I won't give it away yet because they might be in the final cut.
Yeah, you never know with the takes, but yeah.
Yeah, but she did some really funny stuff that was just like, oh my God, this is amazing. And it wasn't on the script. So I love those moments. To me, as a director, as an actor, I love those moments. And I tend to want to keep those moments because they're the happy accidents. So the refreshing things that you wouldn't expect, but it's that little moment that I think a lot of films have actually kept those moments.
Look at Full Metal Jacket. That scene was only, which by the way made me scared of him and also a fan.
Yes.
It was him. They Live, Rowdy Piper, the line, I'm here, the whip ass, with a kick ass and chew bubblegum and all out of bubblegum.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And
Brilliant.
then,
Yeah.
and then of course you get to the most famous one, Star Wars, walking into the door. Thud.
The one stormtrooper. They just left it in there.
I love that they left it in there. That's the best part.
They added a sound effect to it so you can hear him. Thud.
Imagine that being him, though. You got to live that your entire life. I'm
Poor
the
guy, yeah.
stormtrooper.
His whole life was that guy.
If you had a chance to choose to be in a Star Wars or Star Trek project, which one would you choose? Like saying, are you a Star Wars person or are you a Trekkie? That's basically what it is.
I grew up as a child watching reruns of Star Trek, of course, and I've always loved Star Trek. My first crush was Spock, so I do love Star Trek for sure. So it's interesting because the new version of Star Trek I thought was very cool with Chris Pine and everything. But at the same time, I mean, Star Wars, it's like to be in a Star Wars film or that would be beyond an honor. I mean, that's like seminal, so gosh, I think Star
Part
Wars,
of that universe. Yeah.
yeah, that's such an incredible universe. They've expanded it so much, at this point, Mandalorian and everything. I think it would be so cool because I love what they're doing with it. They're bringing more strong female characters in, and they're expanding it more and more. I mean, I would love to see Star Trek expanded more too, because I think we're due for another installment for sure.
Well, I think they said that what they would do, they didn't want to saturate the market with Star Trek shows,
right?
So they have a limit at a time they're going to do. So maybe when one ends, or get another.
Right.
Which I like. We don't really see that with Star Wars. We just one after another, after another, after another, after another.
Exactly. No, I'm curious to see if they do bring the Star Trek franchise back. I think there's so much that can be done with it still. I mean, you can go so many places with it. You can keep going with it, actually.
Well, I recently learned a fact that's going to change Star Wars Voyager for me. You ever watch Voyager?
Yes.
Do you remember the Vulcan?
Yes.
He was in Spaceballs. Remember the scene when they're combing the desert? And the guy goes, "We ain't found shit." That's him.
Wow. Oh my That's
so
great.
Now every time I watch it and I hear Janeway ask something, I'm gonna hear his voice.
We
found shit.
Brilliant. I love putting that in.
Yeah. He has videos where he's like joking around combing desert. He goes, "I've been in so many films. I was on Voyager, and the one thing everybody knows me for is I ain't found shit."
Of course. That's his legacy.
Well, here's one. Mel Brooks, tremendous writer. I love his films.
Yes.
Would you like to be in one of his films?
Oh God, yes. Oh God, yes. Yeah.
Who wouldn't want to be in a Mel Brooks film? I mean, that's
yeah.
Well, I couldn't be in one. I couldn't do it because I'd be too busy laughing my ass off.
Yeah.
As long as it's not a musical, I'll be in.
Yeah.
We know that.
Mel Brooks is unparalleled. I don't think we've had another Mel Brooks since Mel Brooks, to be honest with you. We've all been influenced by him. He was beyond comedic genius. Like that is just wow. Yeah. I don't think there's been another Mel Brooks.
Yeah. I don't think there will be either. He's his own.
Yeah.
There's no way.
But my God, an opportunity to work with somebody like that. Yes, absolutely. The drop of a hat.
Mm-hmm. Not just work with them, just be able to sit down and talk with them.
You can just talk
and pick their brains of what's one.
He'll be on next week, but
but here's one for you. What's one filmmaker or actor or actress you would love to sit down and just past or present that you would love to sit down and talk to and pick the brain for stuff?
Well, see, I'm old school. And I went to film school and studied his film, Stanley Kubrick. I would love to sit down with Stan. If I could resurrect him somehow and sit down and pick his brain, because all of his films have so many Easter eggs and so many, we're still talking about them to this day, and these films are old, but they still are very modern at the same time. So as a filmmaker, I would love to pick his brain and just sit down with this guy and just I don't even know. I mean, just he's such a amalgamation of interesting things and so much. I think, yeah, he would be the one I would choose of all time.
What advice would you have for any actors, directors, screenwriters?
Advice as far as the business,
Yeah,
or
yeah, for the business. Yeah.
in all honesty, it's very, it's very cliche and kind of pedestrian, but it's kind of like you have to stay true to your art, stay true to your vision, your art. And it's a bumpy road. I mean, it's not easy for any of us. I think it's very challenging. But at the same time, if you have your vision and you believe in your vision, you should stay true to that no matter what. And you have to often fight for it. So be prepared to fight for it, and just know who you are and where you're coming from and what you're trying to say with your work. I think that's the most important thing. Is a lot of people don't have clear enough boundaries, but if you know what you're trying to say and what you're trying to express as an artist, I think that's probably the most precious thing you have. And it can change over time, but you still have to protect that. That's your sacred ground as an artist, and having your vision, having a clear vision, staying true to it.
Um, let's see, we're over an hour here. I know you had your Christmas party or whatever. I love talking. I mean, I'd love for you to stay longer, but I know you said you had that party to go to. So you have any more time, or you got to head out, or?
I may have a couple more minutes I can talk.
Okay,
Well,
that's fine. I mean, you're welcome to stay as long as you want, of course.
Well, yeah, I got a Christmas one. Are you anti-eggnog or pro-eggnog?
Ooh, I do love eggnog. I really do. I mean, I have a soft spot for
Then,
it.
do you like Dr. Pepper?
I love Dr. Pepper.
Try Dr. Nog.
What? Is this a thing?
It is. Yes, it is 50% eggnog,
Okay.
50% Dr. Pepper,
Oh my gosh.
and it's really good. I learned about it and tried it on the stream the other day, and I thought, oh, it's gonna be nasty, and I just went, wow.
I don't have any Dr. Pepper, but I got some eggnog actually, though. I had bought some the other day, so I was like, I gotta have eggnog.
It's really good.
I have to give that a shot because I love Dr. Pepper's my favorite, honestly. So, and I love eggnog. So, that's very interesting.
Little fun fact there. All right.
Yeah, it's 50. I had to do the math because they were like the bowl was like 2 gallons of the 2 liters of Dr. Pepper and a gallon of eggnog, and I had to do the math, and it's like 1.89 liters. So I had to do more math to figure. Oh, it's
just pour
50. Yeah, just if you're doing a single serving, it's 50% eggnog, 50% Dr. Pepper.
Okay,
and it's really good.
I'm gonna
Dr. Nog. All right.
Dr. Nog. I like that.
I'm going to see Dr. Nog. What? No.
That's brilliant. I love it. I will give it a shot. No, that sounds. Thank you. No, I mean, I'm a fan of both of them, so I will give it a shot for sure. That sounds great.
Any other interesting facts or hobbies that fans may not know about you?
Okay, hobbies. Well, I think some people know. I'm also a musician. I do music. I have a project. I have my old project Ordrone, but I am also like currently writing new songs for my new project, which is a solo project going to be out in the new year. So I have that. I'm a paranormal enthusiast, so I love anything paranormal and unexplained. Yes. And I'm a doll maker as kind of like a side hobby thing. I make dolls. So I have a website where I sell my dolls.
Voodoo dolls? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, well, hopefully not. Hopefully not. But they're very realistic dolls. They're all one of a kind art dolls. So I make my own dolls, and they're kind of like art pieces. So I got into that during the whole COVID thing, the lockdown. It was kind of like an expression thing to just give my creative energy an outlet. So I do that. I'm trying to think of what else. And I work with animals. So I recently purchased a property in Florida, which I'm going to turn into an equine therapy place, like a sanctuary for people or any kids and anything with learning disabilities, to work with horses to try to heal them.
If it's in Florida, I might have to stop by, depending where.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah. So I'm working, with horses and children and anything that can help the kids. But I'm a big animal advocate, and I work with animals, and I have my own foundation called Defending the Endangered. So I do what I can to help out when I can any animals. But now I'm into the horse thing, and I think it can be really good for a lot of people with PTSD, learning disabilities, and whatnot to just try to heal. So that's my new passion project.
The healing horses.
Yeah.
So, you were saying about the dolls, though. If you want to share that website, I can share it out and stuff.
Oh,
too,
yeah,
if you would make so.
It's hercandydish.com. Hercandydish.com. Yeah.
And put that down, and then when I put the links and everything and all that, after the show. I'll
Okay,
add that
you were talking about music. What kind of music? Is it specific, like country or hip hop or rock? What?
It's like modern alternative rock / electronica. So it's a little ambient, but also like little elements of rock too. Because I love rock. I grew up with rock music, and I love rock music. So yeah, it's a hybrid of all of that.
I think you already had a music video out too, right? I think Steven was sending me something. I didn't get a chance to watch it.
And Brian Krause is in one of my videos, actually.
And he was on the show a few weeks ago. Yeah.
Right. BK and I have been friends for many years, and he's great. So he was in my video. I want to say about 10 years ago, but it's on YouTube if you want to check it out.
Okay.
And he was great, absolutely great.
He's
and
awesome.
Robert Lasardo was also in it. So 2 amazing actors.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll definitely have to check it out since he was in it there. So
Definitely.
yeah, he's so much fun. I met him at a Spooky Empire like years ago, and then I saw him again at the last Spooky Empire. We were talking, and he sort of remembered that, like, that hotel, because it was at a different hotel from the last one, and because me and a couple other people, we were hanging out with him by the pool till like 3 a.m. Like, you know how conventions are. Hardly get any sleep. Just hang out. Yes,
absolutely. No, he's a great guy. He's great. I love Brian. Yeah, we've known each other a long time now. We did camel spiders together.
Yeah, I was gonna say camel spiders is in that.
Jim Wynorski, yeah. See, Thomas.
So
you've done a few spider movies.
Yeah, Lava Lantula, Camel Spiders, Spiders 3D,
Spiders 3D, and Lava Lantula.
Yeah.
So with Steve Gutenberg. So 3 spider films at this point.
Well, Lava Lantula can have another name. Police Academy Reunion.
There you go. Yes, absolutely. Oh my God, yeah. We had everybody from the original.
I was gonna say, in Spiders, the one thing though is when your character's doctor saying, "Well, insects have bite," I'm like, "Arachnid, wrong." Yes. Who wrote that line? It's like, sorry to nitpick, but I was just like, no, they did this.
I won't say his name. I know the writer. I won't get him in trouble, but yes.
That's okay. But I'm like,
yes.
It's like, please, they're not insects. And what's funny is even in other movies, they're like, arachnid, not insect.
Absolutely.
Still a good movie, though. I mean, hey, whatever. It was fun. Though.
Yes.
I enjoyed it.
Yes. No, that was that was really fun. No, that was we shot that in Bulgaria. That was a lot of fun with a young Sydney Sweeney, who's now on Euphoria, and Krista Campbell. And yeah, that was a fun film for sure. But for some reason, I had a stint of doing spider films, and I don't know why that happened, but I haven't done a spider film in a while. So maybe soon again. Maybe it's time again.
When they decide
Angela 3.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. When they decide you're a spider lady again.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. No, I'm ready to move on to a different creature, I think, at this point.
What creature feature would you like to do?
I was thinking we haven't. Scorpions are pretty scary. We haven't done scorpions. Mosquitoes are very scary. We need some mosquito, like a horror mosquito movie.
Besides mosquito, there was a movie.
There's a couple.
Like an updated mosquito would be good. They could just call it mosquitoes.
And it's time to do the giant ants again.
There you go. Yeah, we haven't had giant ants in a while.
There was one where they can mind control people. And that was like back in the 70s or whatever, and
oh my gosh,
they can mind control people.
We have to bring that back. Maybe it's time.
Yeah. Well, there was also an episode of Goosebumps, something, I forget how it was, but like at the end of it, he was feeding the ants, and then at the end there was like a giant ant, and they were in the bowl of ants. They were feeding and they grew. Yes. What was that ant? I can't remember.
One of the best episodes of MacGyver, the killer ants.
Nice.
Where they just had those ants, fire ants or whatever. And they're like, "Oh, we got to stop them. They're killing animals. They're killing people." And he had down in Central or South America, and they had to stop them
with a rubber band. Yep.
Oh wow. Well, fire ants are really scary. That I know. from having a property when they can. Yeah, they're scary.
You know, if you take black ants and fire ants, if you put them in a jar together, they won't do anything. But if you shake them up, then they'll attack. But if you don't shake it up, like you could just let them walk together, nothing will happen. But that'll like put an instinct to attack.
Interesting.
I heard that. I'm like, huh. It's like, do I want to try that? I don't know. But then no.
I stay away. I stay away.
Yeah. Yeah, they can if you get too much. There, I don't know if you remember that show, 1,000 Ways to Die, that used to be on, and it had all those deaths. There are a couple of stupid teenagers. They took ants and they snorted them, and so they got bit inside. It's like, why would you snort fire ants?
Yeah, that's no. That was a famous Ozzy Osbourne story too, with Motley Crue, I think.
Yeah, when he was like doing something's going on, he dropped on his hands and knees and up right in front of the band. He up the line of ants.
The famous Ozzy's one of the famous Ozzy stories. There's been many.
Favorite one. Well, the thing that he told us, I heard him tell the story of the bat. It was on stage and he thought it was fake.
Right.
And then and he bit the head off. They're like, "You idiot! It's real! It's real!" And they had to take him to the doctors.
Yes, he had to have his rabies shots. Insane.
Maybe it made him immune to COVID, though.
I think so. That's why he's still with us and kicking. Like he's still going strong. I mean,
I guess that's what happens when you do a lot of drugs and a lot of alcohol. You snort up ants. You end up accidentally biting the head off of a real bat, not knowing.
Right. Exactly.
They put that in the movie about Motley Crue, if I remember right.
Yes, that was in the film. That's right. Yep. Incredible. That's why he's a legend. That's why he's Ozzy.
Yep.
I've met his son, but I haven't met Ozzy yet. Because he does that. Oh, go ahead. What was that?
I said hopefully soon. Yeah. No, he's amazing. I mean, I hope Ozzy's with us another 20 years at least. I think
I'm surprised he hasn't done any conventions. I mean, Meatloaf did. I met him before he passed. I've met Alice Cooper at conventions, so it's like he could.
And he's done horror movies. He was in the 1980s Trick or Treat.
Yeah.
And one of the funniest roles, heavy metal is bad, you know? And he's reading out these lyrics, gonna go deep, deep with my torpedo. And he's acting like playing a holy man. It's just like, am I supposed to laugh at this or take it serious?
And then remember also he was in Little Nicky with Adam Sandler.
Yeah. That's right. Oh my gosh.
So he could do conventions. It'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Sharon.
Well, no, it might be bad. All the metalheads that would show up causing trouble.
Yeah,
that could be.
You might have to crank up security.
Definitely.
It's don't want any weirdos in the conventions. No. It's a shame. It's like, have convention etiquette, please. You know, we're all just there to have a good time.
Exactly.
There was one woman at a Walking Dead convention that bit Norman Reedus.
Oh no!
That's great. Yeah, it's like,
oh my god. Oh, that's awful. That's awful. That had to be traumatizing for him. I mean, just as an actor, like, oh my god, that's awful.
It's like, do we have to start screening people before they go into conventions? Like,
sometimes you wonder. Yeah, no, that's a little scary.
Have you ever had any weird fan encounters that wish could have avoided?
Yeah, I think we won't mention them, but yeah, I think all of us have had a little strange encounters with people sometimes because bless their cotton socks, they mean well, but some of them just the line between reality and fiction sometimes blurs. So
what do you think about the people who show up in costumes?
I mean, I think it's great. I think first of all, I've seen some amazing costumes.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm always like impressed with how much work and love people put into it. So it blows me away. Sometimes it's just like, this is like screen ready what they do. And so I love that they're celebrating, their individuality and their expression. And they're also giving an homage to fandom and the shows they love. So I always love seeing what people show up in. Like, I think it's super cool because to me, it's just like the creativity is off the charts a lot of the time.
Sometimes they take a whole year to work on the costume.
Oh yeah, what gets me is those ones that got to replicate the Hulkbuster costume, almost life size.
Yeah,
takes forever to put on, and then I'm always like, "Excuse me, what if they have to go to the bathroom?"
And the lines,
Take,
yeah, that can be a little challenging because there's often lines for the bathroom. So.
takes 30 minutes to put it on, to another 30 minutes to take it off, and you gotta hold it the whole time. I gotta go, I gotta go, I gotta go, I gotta go.
Yes, you need an assistant there with you. For
I don't
sure.
know if I would want to be that assistant.
No. No, it has to be somebody who's well paid or a very good friend. One of the two, or both, probably.
I don't care if you're my friend, you might still have to pay me.
Right,
What's
exactly.
been-
I'm a friend, but you got it.
What's
Yeah.
been the one costume at the conventions that you've seen that's the one that really stands out that blows your mind?
I mean, gosh, I've seen so many recreations. It's mostly when I forgot the costume itself, but it was people that do the stilts. Like that always blows
Whenever
me
they're on
away.
stilts, yeah.
Yeah, that blows me away. I've seen people with these amazing, they built the pieces on top of it, and they're on stilts the whole time. And that just like I'm floored by that because you're walking around a convention, which already is hard to get around, but they're on stilts and they're in a costume. And I've seen that a few times, not that often, but when I see it, I'm always like, hats off. It's brilliant. I haven't seen any exact film recreations, but the people that do that, it just blows me away.
I'll have to send you a picture. I forget if it was Texas Frightmare. It might have been Horror Hound. There were giant clowns that I took a picture with on stilts.
Nice.
Big clowns. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll send you the picture. It's like crazy how it's.
Please,
like, oh
yeah, send that to me. I would love to check that out. No, I'm always blown away by people's creativity and their resourcefulness because they they literally see things on a screen and they recreate it at home themselves. They put so much love into it. I just think it's awesome. I love
Those
that.
people have YouTube channels and they show you step by step.
Yes.
And they take this foam and you're like, oh, that's foam. That's not going to look like
That's not
armor.
going to do anything. And then
by the time it gets done, it's like, that's
By the
foam.
time they're done, there's so many talented people out there. I think that's the beautiful thing about cons is you get to see how many people should be working in wardrobe and costuming and film. Like it's like they have gifts. They should be working in that. I just see so much creativity and I give it up to that because I know how much love and time goes into it. So it's
But it also like can pay off. Like they have these guys, they got a DeLorean and they made it look exactly like Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Apparently the studio found out, called them up. Hey, can we talk to you guys about restoring the DeLorean?
wow.
Like, whoa, what? That is awesome.
Yep. There's so much talent out there. I mean, just places you wouldn't expect. So that's what's really cool about the cons is you see how many people are hardcore fans, but also are dedicated and put the love and the work in. And I appreciate that so much. It blows me away. There's amazing people out there.
Yeah, it's like I wish I could make those things, but I'm like, nah. Unfortunately, in that aspect, I'm not creative in that way.
Yeah, the people who do them and watching the videos, it's just like, holy moly! And they got the foam and they're doing all this cutting and reshaping. It's just like,
Absolutely.
holy moly! The
I've
level of talent.
Besides those, I've seen someone who made a replica of Iron Man's mask where it opens and everything. It's like, dang, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Someone did a partial recreation of the one that's in the suitcase.
Oh wow!
Where they begin to open the suitcase in this, but it's not the full suit.
Oh, it's just like the arm or something. Yeah, I think I saw that where it comes out.
There's another guy who there's this liquid in this other stuff that he used, where the liquid goes up this metal, and he goes, "Look, I can do the Venom thing," and he just puts his hand in the liquid, and you watch it go up his arm like the symbiote.
Yeah.
So incredible. No,
The cutest though has been the little kids who can do the Transformers. Have you seen them?
Oh, they transform into the car. Yeah.
really cute. Yes. Yeah, those are the TikTok videos that went viral. Those are amazing. Absolutely. I love it. No, it's just there's so many creative people out there. I that's why I think it's really cool to see the cons because everybody gets to come out and kind of like it's a celebration of that in a way, like a celebration of film, but also creativity. People that, normally they have, regular jobs or jobs that aren't in the film industry, but they get that moment to show their creative, their creative juices and their talents. And there's so many talented people out there. It's incredible.
And who knows, just like those guys who did the DeLorean, they could end up being asked to work on a film.
Exactly.
And they should too. Well deserved. They should bring back Face Off. That was a
Yes.
great show when they created all of that.
Yes, love Face
There
Off.
was another one, wasn't there? There was Face Off and another one.
Oh well, they did the. I think they did a puppet one though, actually too. Besides Face Off, I think they did a puppet one that they made. But what else was there? Face Off and
It was when Sci-Fi was doing a batch of them, and then they did that superhero one.
yeah.
You ever see that one?
No, what is it called?
It was, I forget the name of it, and it was Stan Lee was the host, and like you had to create a character.
Oh, they had
And
like
Dress Up-
Big Mama. She had donuts, and then there was
Mhm.
that was that was Sci-Fi Channel that did that. Yeah. I met the guy who won. I forget his name, Nitro, and then I also met the Big Mama with the donut and stuff. They were at a convention. Was it FX show or MegaCon? But yeah,
Yeah, FX did all
Yeah.
the makeup. Yeah.
Well, there was a convention that lasted. They only did, I think, one or two, and then they went out of business and they didn't
Yeah.
do anymore. It was
So I
another-
see you got to go.
Yeah, I have to get ready for my holiday party. So-
Hey, we're having a party right now.
Oh, I love to sit here all night and talk with you guys. Oh my gosh, I love it. No,
And
this is
the hour
great.
goes by so fast. You can see why some people are on like 2 hours. I mean, not that but it's just like
does.
time
No,
flies
it's
so fast.
Love it. Thank you guys. I love I geek out on this stuff. So for me, this is so much fun. I could go.
Well, we'll
on-
definitely have you back sometime.
and I'm going to be looking forward to that Night of the
Night of
Living
the Living
Dead, because that's one I'm definitely want to check out.
Yeah.
And I'll have to not be judgmental about it.
Till
you know,
we see
compared
it,
to the original.
yeah.
we'll behave.
Yes. Fresh eyes. We actually added one cool thing. We added the diner scene, which in the original was only talk.
Ooh.
So we actually have the
Ooh.
diner scene. So this is
Ooh.
where we took a little creative liberties to add the diner scene. So the diner scene is really cool, and we have some very, I would say, like recognizable horror icons in this film. So there's going to be a lot of Easter eggs that way. A lot of
Is there an estimate on the release date of this? Because I'm really intrigued now.
I want to say late 2024, like hopefully for Halloween. That my goal is to get it out around Halloween. So yes. But we have some amazing like people you'll recognize from other horror franchises, other horror films that are all make appearances in this film. That's why it's really
Yeah, color me intrigued.
Yes.
awesome. I love
Well,
it.
we'll definitely check that out whenever it comes out. So,
Yes.
all right. Well, you have great holidays, great New Year. We'll
Thank
keep in touch and have you on again. And
Thanks.
all the
And
best.
don't forget to look at Walmart for those Grumpy Kitty sweaters.
I'm gonna look. Actually, I'm gonna go online and look for those. Thank you for reminding me. That's perfect. No, it's been such a pleasure. I love talking to my fellow horror appreciators, and we all have an understanding and a love for the genre, and I love that so much because I can geek out on this stuff like really hardcore. So
Oh yeah, I could talk for hours about
Yeah.
it.
same here for sure. So it's been such a pleasure, you guys. Thank you.
And
And
thank
have
you.
a happy holiday and a good New Year's.
Yep.
You too. Thank you so much. Happy holidays and happy holidays to all the viewers. Thank you guys. See you in 2024.
All right. Take care.
You too. Thank you.
Bye. All right. So next week we got Angel Bradford coming on from Debbie Does Demons. I said it last week by mistake, but next week it is her. So all right. And you too, man. Happy holidays. Thanks to everyone who watching the replay, and we'll see you next time. Okay.
It's still alive.
Have a good one. And now, well, no, I was reading a message there that came
Yeah.
up.